Good Thursday morning, friends. I hope all of you are having a good day. Hope you had a restful night. I woke up this morning and I see that, again, it was quite a busy night on YouTube, it looks like. I had fallen asleep. Honestly, I think that I fell asleep like at 7:45. I know that I had gotten a text and I answered it and I was just out. But I'd had a lot to do yesterday with them, working on my closet and having to move stuff around. And I had been up since like 4:30 that morning because I wanted, to make sure things were done. And I didn't know for sure what time they were going to come because they only say like between 7 and noon is when they will be there. So I was just exhausted and I went to bed. So I missed once again all of the things going on. And I want to say up front that I'm not upset at anybody. I'm going to mention a lot of things that have gone on over the last few days. And, just because I mention something you say that I disagree with, uh, doesn't mean that I've got some agenda out for you. It just means that I don't agree with it. So let's get started. That also gives you a point of if you don't want to listen to any of this, then you can click right out. And if you do, you might want to hold on for a bumpy ride. So I wonder, can anybody out there tell me how Diane being accused of theft has in turn made Stellar out to be a villain, and now all of a sudden Tucker a savior? Can anybody leave me a message and let me know that? And I'm sorry I'm not doing this as a live. I was really kind of torn between that, but I have a lot that I want to say. Big shocker, right? And if I have a side chat, I try very hard to engage with my side chat. And I don't think that I could do both. It's kind of hard for one person to watch and engage with the side chat and then, talk about the things that you want to talk about as well. So I apologize for not going live. But I just don't understand that. I don't know if this is a deflection to try to get the heat off of Diane, and which, by the way, let me say up front, I don't know Diane like that. I've been on her panel one time, and that was a couple of years ago, and that's it. I don't know anything about um, what she has said that she's going to do with super chats or anything like that. So, in no way am I saying that I think that Diane is guilty because I don't know enough about that situation, nor is it my business because obviously I didn't donate any money because I wasn't a frequent person that, went to her channel. So, this is in no way me saying, oh, well, she's guilty, blah, blah, blah. But I am a little bit concerned as to how this has made Stellar the bad guy. I'm going to tell you that some of your assumptions are dead wrong. I know yesterday I watched a bit of Randy's uh, hangout that she had up, and she's since taken it down, so I didn't get to listen to everything. And I did hear that she was very upset with Stellar. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this seems to be what went down. Randy and Stellar were having a conversation in DM, and Randy took Stellar's DM and shared it with Diane, and then Diane in turn shared it with Vinny, who in turn put it in his hangout and, up on the screen for everyone to see. That's what I understand. And that being the case, doesn't Stellar have a right to not be happy about that? I wouldn't be happy about that. My friends that are in my close circle, uh, I know when I send them something or say something to them because, we talk honestly more about our private life than we talk about stuff online here. I know that it's not going anywhere else. I mean, I know that I know that I know that it's not going anywhere else. So Randy said that Stellar had threatened her. Now, threat's a pretty harsh word. And I don't think for a minute that Stellar has it in him to threaten anybody. He made a statement, from what I understand, that said two can play at that game, basically. If you're going to show my messages, two can play at that game. That's not really a threat as much as it is a statement. And not only that, it's a very valid statement, in my opinion, um, because Stellar's always been very kind to Randy. She even said that herself. Um, Another thing that was very incorrect that was said in Randy's hangout yesterday, that Stellar was going around everywhere trying to get on panels everywhere. That is a lie. That is a lie. He was invited by Tiffany Marie to come on panel to discuss St. Jude. He was invited by Sunbury Housewives, MJ and Shell, to come on their panel on Tuesday night, I believe it was now, and discuss St. Jude. And I only watched for a very few minutes because I was busy doing something else. But during the part that I was watching, I heard Stellar say, I didn't even know who you ladies were. So if he didn't know who they were, he didn't know that they had a channel. How exactly was he trying to weasel his way on to their panel? He was asked, is what happened. Now, I understand that I guess a lot of this anger or whatever is because Stellar is a very moral man. He stands by his principles, and he said that he felt like that Diane should be transparent. Isn't that what all the people with the pitchforks at Diane are wanting to? Why Stellar the bad guy for simply stating that Diane should be transparent, but it's okay that all the people with the pitchforks are saying the same thing? For some reason, and I don't know what it is yet, but for some reason, you're wanting to pin a bunch of stuff and a bunch of lies and a bunch of nonsense on a man that doesn't deserve it. Stellar has not done anything to any of you. And I don't even have to ask him this. But Randy said that she would not be bought, and she returned $1,200 to Stellar. Well, Randy, as I said, I have nothing against you, but you probably will not like this statement. Stellar doesn't need to buy a damn person anywhere. Anywhere. If he wants to be on somebody's panel to come talk, he can do so. He doesn't need to buy his way in to anybody. The man is a very kind and generous man. He has helped more people in this community than probably anybody would have any idea of. And also, he's not done it and said, "Oh, pat me on the back because I gave this, this, this." No, he's not done that. Um, well, I'm just going to say it. At this point, I think that all of you have an agenda or a vendetta or something going on. This is not about St. Jude and sick children. No, it's not. It's about uh, having an agenda to make Stellar look bad, make Tucker look good, make Diane look good, a vendetta that people have against Diane to try to make her look bad, so on and so forth. Maybe at the beginning, this started out to be about the children, but it is so far removed from that right now that people have definitely lost track. And of course, this is just my opinion, and I stated up front, people were probably not going to like my opinion. But Stellar is a dear, sweet, kind friend to me. And just like all of you taking up for your friends, I have a right to make the statements that I want to make. And I'm really not taking up for Stellar. I'm telling you the truth in the situations. I noticed also in Randy's, the part that I saw, that a lot of people were saying that Stellar had lied. Well, I would like for you people that believe that Stellar has lied to please leave me a comment and let me know what about. Because I feel quite certain that Stellar would want a chance to address that and bring the facts to prove that he has not lied about anything. You even were making fun of the man's religion. That doesn't sit well with me at all. I did not like the video that Hondo put up a bit. Actually, I didn't like it a damn bit. And I didn't think it was funny. I don't think the Stellar of Nazareth is funny. This man has not done anything to anybody to deserve being spoken to and talked about in that manner. Not anything has he done to deserve that. Simon, I noticed that you were the biggest one that kept saying that he had lied, he had lied, he had lied. And then you put up Denny's phone call where he did not get any information as proof that Stellar lied. Well, you know what, Simon, you evidently like liars. And you evidently like repeating lies. I guess it's pretty clear from my tone that I don't care for you, and I don't. I don't get the warm and fuzzies from people that sit on panels places and lie about me. And I've seen you do that numerous times when you were so far up Dave's ass that you couldn't see the light of day. Then you go on that trip and you stay so damn drunk the whole time that you even break your prosthetic leg. How do I know you don't stay drunk around home like that and go around saying things that don't make any sense? I don't know, and I don't really care, but I do know that even a blind man can see that Dave's a liar and there's no truth in anything that he says. Um, Someone had said something, and I believe it was Monique, had said that Stellar had said that he was, I don't know the exact term that she used, but and I like Monique. So I mean, I'm not saying anything negative about Monique. We're obviously just we have different opinions about this. Monique said, if Stellar was a man of God, why would he be hanging around BOYT? Well, I invite you to pull your Bibles out because the very place that Jesus stayed was with sinners and the people that needed to know about Jesus. What good does it do as a Christian if you just sit with a bunch of people that are already saved and never do what the Bible instructs you to do? And that is to be like Christ. I found these four scriptures just right off the top of my head because even though Rotten Candy over there, Dave's girlfriend, I have no idea why she was calling me an atheist, but no, honey, I'm not. First place I was ever taken after I got out of the hospital, I was a preemie. And so it was quite some time. But the first place that I was ever taken was church. I grew up in church. And I have said before, and I will never try to preach to anybody what they should and shouldn't do, but my faith is one of the biggest, most important things in my life. And for you people around here that think that just because you're a Christian, that you are supposedly perfect, that could not be farther from the truth. I don't even know where that, from the devil, I guess, is probably where that came from. Um, I'm not going to read these. You can read them yourself, but we are called to be like Christ in everything that we do. Whoever claims to live in him must live as Jesus did. Jesus lives inside of us if we have accepted him as our Lord and Savior. So I don't know what kind of convoluted spin y'all are trying to make on Stellar's faith, but it stinks to high heaven. It really does. And while I'm on that subject, just let me go on here. David Guns apparently had posted in the side chat last night of uh, Jenny Gingens. Stellar said that he was a minister. But in newspaper articles that I was sent, they said he was the pastor's helper. Why didn't they say that he was a minister? I have no clue about how this stuff works in the church. Why were you researching Stellar, David Guns? What had Stellar done that you needed to be researching him in the first place? Not a damn thing, that's what. Not a damn thing. You know, it's funny, you want to keep your name and who you are so secretive. But by God, you go out and run background checks and all these other things on everybody else. He has never said that he was a minister. He said that he was a deacon. And if you're not familiar with church terminology, then you probably shouldn't make statements like that, should you? A deacon and a minister are very different. He has no reason to lie about his past. None whatsoever. He's not on trial here. He's not the one that has done anything wrong at all. I hope that Spirit of Salt does not mind me reading this. It was a public statement that she had put under Stewie's because it really surmises things a lot. She says, Jesus, this just gets worse and worse. Stellar has been so generous to so many people. I'm not surprised to hear that he gave me money for computer stuff. And I don't know who that was to. Maybe that's what Randy got money for. I don't know. Because, like I said, I did not get to see the whole thing and then it was taken down. Stellar has quietly given loads and loads of money to people and never asked for a thing in return. How is this being spun? How this is being spun is terrible. And I agree, Spirit. I agree. It is terrible. Very, very terrible. When Stellar said be transparent, he meant Diane, not to hurt Randy. Holding her to ransom, he was just pissed that his personal information had been given by Randy to Diane and then Diane to Vinny. And then Vinny put it in his videos, like I'm putting this right here in a video, except his was private conversation that he was putting up there. So asking for transparency now gets you doxxed. I guess so. I guess so. Especially when you want to be so determined that, you know, you're covering for your friend and nothing else matters. The amount of damage being done to people all because Diane took in thousands of dollars in the name of St. Jude and refused for nearly 3 years to be open and show payments to the charity. I can't believe that Diane didn't send the money, but either way, none of this would be happening as being upfront and providing regular receipts, which is standard practice when doing what she was, as it protects people like Diane from the allegation being made now. The things said in the past 2 weeks, the rewriting of history again and again, the treatment of others has only served to make Diane look guilty in the eyes of many, whether she is or not. Instead of just showing the receipt, holding up her head high, and wallowing in the acclaim that she would have got, she has chosen to let the community tear itself apart. As to Randy's broken heart and the pain and suffering she feels, hell, lay it at your best friend's door if you feel like getting on YouTube to moan about it. Stop and think of the lady with the baby who has real problems and never makes the fuss you do, and check yourself. Now, I've heard this guy's name before, this Bryan StJohn. I know that there is a video up of where Vinny called St. Jude and he was told that they don't give out information. I'm going to put Bryan's video, and actually I'll put Vinny's too so you can hear both of them, in my description so you can listen if you haven't heard these. But Bryan calls St. Jude. And lo and behold, the first thing the lady said was, "Are you calling about Diane?" And he blocked out her last name, of course, because they've been getting calls and calls and calls and calls and calls about this. And let me just read what he said here. I did edit out Diane's last name, but they do give out information because she told me her first and last name. And they are very aware and working to resolve the situation. So a call saying that they don't give out information is incorrect. They told me different. I hope that soon there's a resolve to this situation for everyone involved. Amen. Would that not be wonderful? So, not Vinny's fault, not Bryan's fault, not anybody's fault that's calling and getting differing information. But I will say Bryan gives you the number to call. I don't know if that's the number that Vinny called or not. I guess it probably wouldn't be in Australia. It probably wouldn't be, but I don't know. But right before I started recording this, Vinny was live and he was calling St. Jude again. And Vinny, you are more concerned that Stellar is getting information than you were if a crime has been committed. You weren't asking for information regarding Diane. You were saying that Stellar is getting information and that there has been a security breach, is what you were saying. And this is where this came from. Stellar had left a comment under Bryan's video yesterday, and it says, Bryan, I talked to Olivia, same person, meaning the same person that Bryan had spoken to yesterday, and verified several things. exact same convo, except they asked me if I was Joe M. And we laughed since they know me really well down there. The supervisor's name is Sean Martin. That's Olivia's supervisor. And the matter is being examined by legal right now. Now might be the best time to relax, take a breath, and not come to any judgment or conclusions. Now, I don't know how anybody is taking that right there and making Stellar to be the bad guy. I don't understand that for the life of me. How that's making him to be the bad guy. Um, it's a shame that all of this has happened. It's a shame that it's turned people against each other. Um, it's a shame that so many people are willing to lie about others that have done nothing to them. You know, back to Simon again, and not to harp on you, Simon, but you said that uh, Stellar never put up any information. Well, that's a lie. Not only did he put up information, he put it up frequently. He gave you everybody's name, phone number, and contact, and any information that would be needed so that anybody, if they wanted to, could call and verify. If you didn't call and verify, then that's on you. And it doesn't give you the right to call Stellar a liar just because you never followed through. He followed through with this from beginning to end. It's a little bit different with Tucker because Tucker being in Canada, and if I'm not mistaken, and I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but Stellar he had one of the receipts that Tucker had shown that had the confirmation number or whatever on it. And when he went to verify that, was told that that was not, that wasn't a number, it wasn't a receipt, what have you. I've never accused Tucker of stealing any money from St. Jude. Um, I feel like, and this is just myself, but if I give money in a super chat or whatever, once I have done, for lack of a better word, the good deed of giving the money, it's no longer my money. What the person does with it, if they do with it what they're supposed to, if they don't, that's between them and their maker right there. But I understand that, you're talking about a lot of people here, and a lot of people want to know where their money went to. Now, I will say this, and this is something that probably will go over like a lead balloon as well, but I don't believe that if you didn't donate that you should have a dog in this race. Uh, I never donated to Diane. It's none of my business to ask for a receipt. And let me be very clear, I'm not accusing her of anything. I don't know enough of the facts. I'm just making statements based on things that have been said in the last 24 hours or so. Vinny was more concerned that Stellar was getting information. They weren't giving out her uh, ID and her address and things like that, but I don't see how any of you, y'all, I am very animated when I talk, and I talk with my hands, and I just realized I'm talking with my hands right now because that just makes my point so much better. What was I going to say? Oh, I don't see how any of you can think that St. Jude, being the big organization that it is, would not have something in play if people are raising funds for St. Jude, but then they never make it to St. Jude, of course they're going to have something in play to research something like that. And, you know, I have no idea how big, the drama community is. But obviously it's pretty big from the numbers that I have seen, people bring in, like Molly Golightly. I mean, she'll have 600, and Diane's had 600 at times. I mean, so just imagine all of those people that are picking up the phone and calling this poor Olivia every day. They're not giving anybody any personal information. And saying that, yes, we're getting a lot of calls about this person, and, it's going to be investigated. That's not giving away personal information. Enough people have called that basically it started a firestorm. And I don't see that it's going to end anytime soon. Now, back to what I said. I never accused Tucker of anything regarding St. Jude. The biggest thing to me about it, and it appears that Jenny Gingid had named her hangout last night. It had something to do with friendship, loyalty, and character. Well, what is friendship? For me, I talk to my friends off and on all day long. I trust them and they trust me. We're there for each other. Um, if they're in trouble, or they're hurt, or they need to be prayed for or uplifted or whatever, a friend is someone that can be looked up to and trusted, and you know that they're going to be there for you. Loyalty. Being a loyal friend to someone is something that you find in friendships. And I'm very blessed that, my tight circle that I have, we're all loyal to each other. All loyal to each other. Uh, you don't lie to each other. You don't try to cover things up. You keep promises that you make, and you you just know that that person's always going to be there for you. Character, I think, was the last one. What do you think about when you think of the word character? Honesty, integrity, loyalty. Um, you're taught as a kid, we are, to promote good behavior, to have good virtues. What your true character defines who you are as a person. And it's the biggest influence on the decisions that you make, not only in your everyday life, but in life in general. Those are my definitions of friendship, loyalty, and character. So let's see, who was the better friend, Tucker or Stellar? I feel Stellar is a gentleman. He's a man of impeccable character, very high morals, a man of honor. He sees the good in people, quite frankly, when there's no good there. He helps people in need, and he tries to live his life as Jesus would. Now, everybody knew that Tucker and Stellar were pretty close. Tucker lied about Stellar, and it was a lie, saying that he hit on him and that he was gay and that Stellar wanted to be with him. I don't mean this to be nasty, Tucker, but don't flatter yourself so much. I've said this for a year. Stellar would not have had to go to another country to find somebody to be with if he was gay, but he's not. And he never hit on you, and he never tried to do anything like that with you. So, with that scenario there, folks, was Tucker being a friend to Stellar? Was he being loyal? Was he being of good character? I would have to say no, that he was not. Tucker asked to borrow $5,000 from Stellar. Stellar gave it to him. And now he has said numerous times that he's just not paying him back. Do you think that Tucker's being a good friend? Do you think that he's being loyal? Do you think that he's being a man of character? Refusing to pay back someone that gave him $5,000 interest free and never asked for anything in return. Just, this is the time frame that we've got where this will be paid back, and that's it. Glad I could help you. Then he came to him shortly thereafter, and I believe wanted another $3,500. And by then Stellar was opening his eyes and seeing something's not right here, and he denied him that, which I'm sure, of course, angered Tucker. But regardless of any of the St. Jude situation that's gone on, do you people honestly think that it's okay that he is refusing to pay Stellar back the $5,000 that he owes him? You think that that's perfectly okay? Then, and this is the biggest one for me, and I'm not going to give a lot of her business out because it's not my place to do it, but Missy is a dear friend to me. Many of you know that her father had a kidney transplant. I believe it was September of 2019. He has had everything in the world that can go wrong has gone wrong. I mean, that poor man, it's just been fight, 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 fight. I believe he's still in the hospital today. He's been there more in the hospital than not. And they were raising money for Missy's dad, as anybody could understand, being under this type of sickness, with the precarious health. Somebody's had to be with him. It puts you in a very bad situation very quickly, even if you are financially secure, when you have health problems like that. If you have a job, not many of them are going to let you take off for very long. But money was being raised for Missy's dad. Now, Stellar knew the amounts that had been raised, and even more so than that, he knew the amount that he had given. And it would have been over $1,000. And I will try to remember to link the video down where all this was discussed on my panel last year. When it came down to it, and Tucker gave the money that was raised to Missy, she got less than $100, I believe. I want to say around 70. And of course, since Stellar had donated roughly $1,000, he knew that wasn't right. And obviously that was another red flag. So, do you all in good conscience really believe that Tucker was a friend, that he was loyal, and that he showed good character to Stellar? Can any of you honestly say that? Then, to continue on with that lie, he supposedly, allegedly, however you want to say it, had the heart transplant in June or July, and he claimed that he had used some of Stellar's donation money to buy dog food for a animal shelter. Gosh, I was drawing a blank. At an animal shelter. Now, this is a man, as I just said, that had just had this surgery, heart transplant, was near death, and I do believe he was near death. Um, Sailor, I hear you, but I don't know what you're getting into, but you're getting into something. Excuse me. It was making me lose my train of thought. He's sneaking around. Um, he's the nosiest little thing that I have ever seen. I remember I used to tell Mother that if he could talk, he could tell us where everything that we had lost was. Things you'll lay down somewhere. He could tell us where everything was because he goes everywhere. Everywhere. Um, but he had his heart transplant in the middle of the summer. And then October, November, he's lifting 75 to 100-pound uh, dog food bags at the animal shelter. Does that really sound like something that actually happened to you all? Now, while my father never had um, a heart transplant, he did have heart problems. He had had 3 heart attacks. And I remember my mother talking very clearly about how careful he had to be and not to lift. And I mean, well, just he could not do some of the things that he had done before. And one of the biggest things was, this was before that I was born, before they were even expecting me. And he had a horse that he loved, and he had had a heart attack like in May. And then he rode his horse when he wasn't supposed to, and then he ended up breaking a bunch of ribs. And when she got pregnant with me, she was like, that horse has got to go. So his horse had to go. So I know that when you have heart issues, that there are certain things that you can and can't do. So, do you think that Stellar was being a good friend to Missy in doing that? Or Stellar in doing that? Do you think that he was a good friend to Awesome Hooker when she went through so much? I mean, she went down with the ship. You can't say that she did not go down with the ship, because she did, in her loyalty and friendship to Tucker. She absolutely went down with the ship. And not once did he try to clear her name. Did he say, you know, whatever? None of that was said. None of it. And I know that quite a few of her friends were not happy about that. And rightly so. They didn't like seeing her hurt. Um, so, was that a friend? Was he being a friend and loyal and a man of good character in doing that to Trish, Awesome Hooker? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So, in conclusion here, I'm still trying to see and understand how Stellar became the bad guy here. He felt that Tucker was as close to him as a brother. He vouched for him on him showing what Stellar thought was donations to St. Jude. And then the more that came out, and we all have that shady meter inside of us. Every single one of us will have that knot in our stomach that tells you when something's right and something's wrong. And something was going off with Stellar for him to, you know, say, hey, that something is not right here. Something is not right. Now, even at that point, he did not run to get on anybody's panel to start outing Tucker. That never happened. He went to him directly first. Directly first. And was met with a belligerent attitude. Next thing you know, there's the lies about, oh, he came on to me, yada, yada, yada. Again, was that a good friend? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It was only after everything continued to come out. And I know it's hard for some of you to understand, and I don't mean that in a snide, snippy way, because Stellar is a very, very, very do the right thing type of person. And where some people, maybe even one of us, if it was one of our friends and we realized that something was wrong, we might have just not said anything, clammed up and just let it go and not say anything because we didn't want to, admit that maybe our friend had done something that wasn't on the up and up. None of us can know until we're in a situation like that. But because of Stellar's character, he felt that he had to bring all of it to light so that the people that had donated money would know the truth. Again, how does that make Stellar the bad guy? That he brought you the truth about things. And he did bring the truth. And as I said before, all the information, all the contact info, phone numbers, everything else was put out there. And I'm quite sure, I know we would still have records of it. If any of you would like that information, that he would give it to you now. See, just because you don't want to believe something is the way that it is, doesn't mean it's not. Think about it. Especially, let's say, people that have gone through divorce, because most of us have here. You don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe that something is wrong. You don't want to believe that something that you put so much love into, a person you put so much love into, is coming to an end. Because that makes it painful. Now, obviously, not the kind of pain that we're talking about here, but, disbelief goes a long way, especially if you truly believe somebody and have faith in them. I know for me, with my ex-husband, I would have never dreamed the things that he would have did do. And I would have told anybody they were crazy, that it never happened. Well, it happened. Everybody has to decide for themselves what they believe and what they don't. I don't know what happened between Tucker and St. Jude. I don't know what happened between Diane and St. Jude. That's really not my business because it's not something that I'm involved in. Now, yes, I did donate, a few times to Tucker, but as I said, I feel that once you make that donation, it's between them and their maker. And I didn't specify that, anything be for St. Jude. If he'd used the money for himself, I wouldn't have cared. Um, but not everybody feels that way. So again, please leave me the comments. I'm not going to get mad and angry and snippy with you. I really want to know all the people, and there were quite a few of you that were over there saying that Stellar had lied. Please tell me what he's lied about. And tell me why he's the bad guy for going on a panel that he was invited to go on, and he didn't accuse anybody of anything. He said that you should be transparent. But all of a sudden, that makes him somebody that's a bad person. Because he brought the stuff about Tucker to light. All of a sudden, he's supposed to be investigated, and people are sending David Gunn's newspaper accounts and things like that. There was not a reason in this world that he should have been investigated. Let's not forget that Tucker, trying to troll, messed up when he put up Jack Sparrow's son's information. He was claiming that Jack was pretending to be somebody that he wasn't, didn't know that his son was I'm not going to say his name, even though most people know it, but didn't know that his son was a Jack Sparrow Jr. And instead of loading that video onto his troll account, he uploaded it onto his Tucker account. And believe you me, people are always there on the ready to get things downloaded and recorded, and that's exactly what happened. There's no possible way that Tucker could ever say that that wasn't him, because he uploaded it on to his main Tucker channel and just as quickly took it down. And then on a troll account, all of a sudden, information goes up about someone that they thought was Stellar's son, and it wasn't his son. So I've gone on here much longer than I should have, and much longer than probably anybody will want to listen to. But I bit my tongue all day yesterday. I bit my tongue all morning. And, well, I just had to say my piece based on what I've experienced. I'm not a newbie here. Come July, I'll be 6 years that I've been here on BOYT. I've seen a lot. And I see a lot of good, too. I mean, that's what keeps me here, is because I see a lot of good in people. I understand that if you're close to Diane, you don't want to believe that she could do anything wrong. But just because you believe that she didn't do anything wrong, why are you throwing Stellar under the bus, who's done nothing but be kind and supportive and honest with people? That's the part I don't understand. So it just seemed to me like that, there's been a witch hunt, for a lack of a better word, going for Diane. And now all of a sudden, all that's been switched to Stellar. Is that to deflect, to get people's mind off Diane? Because it's not going to work. Look, if you can call St. Jude on the number that they say to report fraud, and they know her name before you even say anything, it's not going away. It's not. Um, you know, whether it ever comes to an end or whatever. But these people that are calling constantly are not going to let up because they're out for blood. It's like I said, this is no longer about the children. And maybe for one or two of you it is, but by and large, nope, no, I don't feel that way. I fully think that some people have a vendetta against Diane. Other people have some other agenda. Maybe you're a friend of Diane's and you don't want to see any harm come to her and you want to, try to deflect, which is what I think a lot of this right here is. I don't know the answer. I don't know the outcome. But I do know the type of man that Stellar is. And that's not me blindly saying these things. It's things that I have witnessed and experienced with him with other people. And before anybody says anything, because I know a troll will, no, I have never asked, needed, wanted any money from Stellar. Has he super chatted me money? Yes, like he does other people. He has super chatted me money. But no, I've never gone to him in need of money or anything like that. So let me just get that clear on the table before some troll says, oh, I bet he bought her off. Nope, sure didn't. Sure didn't. Mm-mm. Never happened. I don't even monetize my videos. I do, even though I am monetized, I don't put ads on there or anything like that. I have always said I'm not here to make money. This is not a job for me. I'm here for the people that I care about. And that has never ever changed at all. And for the record, I agree with most everything that Pirate has said that I have heard about this situation. And I have been on the receiving end of being the one that the mob is after. So I can very much sympathize with, I'm sure, how Diane's feeling about things. And that's not right either. I do not believe that every person that is over there demanding to see receipts donated money. I don't believe that. Um, don't believe that every person that has called to St. Jude donated money. But people think that they have an interest. Some people are just nosy and want to be busybodies and get into things that's, none of their business. Even me. Yesterday I was thinking, well, maybe I'll call that number and see what they tell me since they've told this person this and this person this. And I thought, well, hell, you didn't donate no money. It's none of your business to be calling there. Yeah, I have conversations with myself like that. I do. And I made the right decision because it really doesn't concern me. I just wish the best for her and everybody else in that situation. So, I've gone on way long enough, folks. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. I hope that I haven't pissed too many of you off because that's not my intent. Lord knows I think the world of Vinny. I don't begrudge him one bit defending his friend, Diane. I don't. I don't begrudge that at all. I think Randy is a sweet person. Don't have anything against Randy. As I said, I don't have anything against Diane. She's the one that I would know the least of the three. But these are just my thoughts and opinions. And on that note, I am out of here. Y'all have a great rest of the day, and we will talk soon. Bye now.